易经 Hexagram, Lei Shan Xiao Guo with the changing lines on the first, the third, and the fifth lines. All the celestial beings participate in the interpretation of the hexagram. Naxi asked Elf Atlan to have a conversation for the writing of the hexagram, Lei Shan Xiao Guo, with the changing lines on the first, the third, and the fifth lines, revealed from the Elf Atlan, after Naxi translated the writing into English on May 25th, 2024. Naxi says, for each hexagram, the odd-numbered lines meet up with the even-numbered lines, such as 1, 4, 2, 5, and 3, 6. The time development of the lines in the hexagram is as follows. The first and the second lines are in the first stage. The third and the fourth lines are in the middle stage. And the fifth and the sixth lines are in the later stage. The changing lines, the first, the third, and the fifth, which are the odd-numbered lines, indicate the practices in the first, the middle, and the later stages. Are they associated with the even-numbered lines? Elf Atlan says, yes. In the first stage, the first line, Yin, represents the two brothers, and the corresponding the fourth line, Yang, represents the client, the art design gallery. The two of Yin and Yang correspond to each other, which indicates they both have their own needs and will sign the contract. The king of the earth, Lodi, says, the first line, Yin, is the small, which implies the two brothers are not well known, and they are obedient and submissive and humble. Relatively, Yang is the big, indicating command and leadership. The first line, Yin, is in odd position, which is not its own place, implying that the two brothers will be easily persuaded by the fourth line, Yang, which is not good for themselves. The fourth line, Yang, in the even position, is not its own place. That implies the fourth line, Yang, the art gallery, will take a tough attitude to force the first line, Yin, the two brothers, to obey, which is not good for the first line, Yin. Naxi says, how long does it take from the first line to the second line in the hexagram? The king of the earth, Lodi, says, it would take 4 months. Elf Atlan says, when getting the stage of the second line in, the art gallery will ask the two brothers to exhibit under the name of the art gallery, on the grounds that they wouldn't offer their exhibition venue. The two brothers could agree because they need publicity. The king of the earth, Lodi, says, in the period of the first line in, the business owner will ask the two brothers to design products for them. At the second line in, the business owner will still make the same request, but neither the two brothers would agree. The celestial fox shaman Shan Liu says, the second line in the even position is in its own place, which is propitious. That implies the two brothers have gained the reputation. The second line in is in a weak position, but its popularity has increased. The king of the earth, Lodi, says, on the other hand, the fifth line in the odd position is not in its own place, which is unpropitious. That implies the business owner, the art gallery, would have lost his control. The fifth line in the label of the king should be Yang. When the fifth line loses its control, Yang becomes Yin, the weak. The celestial force shaman, Fengling, says, the second line in is in the label of the noble scholar, which implies the two brothers have gained their reputation locally. Elf Atlan says, from the second line to the third line, the time will be in just 1 month. The two brothers would have a good number of orders. The king of the earth, Lodi, says, most of the orders will come from exhibitions in the art gallery, and for the reputation of the two brothers. The two brothers have to estimate whether the factory production line can handle the load, as well as the factory's quality control. Stick with the practice of the third line, Yang, saying, 如果, do not load beyond their capacity. 防之, to prevent quality problems in production. The third line, Yang, is in its own place. so it has got its time. The fourth line yang is not in its own place, so it does not have its time. Yang indicates the heaven, which means the steady and the strength, and also means a noble man. When the two noble men get together, they will do the big things. The big things are not good for the third line yang, because the big things of the fourth line yang are untimely. Therefore, the hexagram Lei Shan Xiao Guo saying, small things might be done, a big thing may not be done. That means ambition should not be done. The celestial folk shaman Xiao Guo says, 防之, don't be confused with the external condition and put themselves in dilemma, that is, promising and accepting large orders, but failing to complete them. They must be careful not to exceed their own ability. 图过, don't extend what the brothers already have and design new products for others. Elf Underline says, to the fourth line, the art gallery would offer their own factory for the two brothers to produce as a condition and require the two brothers to design products for the business owner. The two brothers must not agree. The king of the earth, Rodi, says, the art gallery does not have their own products on display, but will still exhibit the two brothers' products continuously because of their products receiving recognition and response from the market. The art gallery still needs their products to be displayed and obtains new orders. The moon god of the first creator, Tianfeng, says, the period from the first line to the second line will be the 4 months. The second line to the third line will be 1 month. The third line to the fourth line will be 3 months. And the fourth line, a lot of orders obtained in the art gallery could not be produced. However, the two brothers still have to adhere to the practice of the third line yang, saying, not exceeding their own load. The first and the second lines are both yin, which indicates that the initial attitudes of the two brothers are not strong enough. It would be easy for the two brothers to be persuaded to obey, which would cause them trouble. The two brothers need to estimate what they can bear at the moment. That is, how much they are capable of taking and how many orders they would accept. Do not think about their efforts in the past time and their dreams in the future. Therefore, the present can become eternal. All of above is in response to the words of the fifth line yang, 勿用永贞. Elf Outline says, the period from the first line to the second line will be 4 months. The second line to the third line will be 1 month. The third line to the fourth line will be 3 months. The fourth line to the fifth line will be 6 months. In the period of the fourth line, the art gallery would have offered their own factory for the two brothers to produce as a condition, and have required the two brothers to design products for the business owner. The two brothers might not agree. The celestial beast of Pangu, Li Ling says. At the fifth line, the art gallery would once again propose their factory to produce. Due to the inability to produce the large number of orders, the two brothers could agree, and it would solve the problems of being unable to produce the large number of orders. Elf Underline says, however, the art gallery would privately brand their name on the products in their own factory. In order to avoid the coming disputes, the two brothers should require the art gallery to write down a production contract, emphasizing the core production before they are agreeing. The celestial folk shaman Ling Ling says, if the art gallery does not agree to sign the core production contract, the two brothers will not accept the orders received from the art gallery. The celestial folk shaman Bi Yu says, the two parties will be in deadlock for a while. The art gallery would have a backlog of orders that could not be completed, and finally agree to sign the co-production contract. Fairies Peony Flower say, the art gallery still desires to have their own brand and would once again require the two brothers to design new products for them. The two brothers would never agree. If the art gallery does not have their own products, they will privately label the products with their own brand in their own factory. that causes disputes between the two parties. The celestial folk shaman Li Yi says, the two brothers can require the art galleries to stop production in accordance with the co-production contract written by the both parties. Fairy peony flower Hua Li and Luo Li say, the second line yin and the fifth line yin, which are both yin, do not correspond with yin and yang, which represents the two parties do not cooperate anymore. After the art gallery stops the production, they would hand over all the unfinished orders to the two brothers and require them to complete the orders within a certain time. If the two brothers couldn't finish, they would break the contract. Fairy jasmine flower Mei Ching and Luo Li say, the two brothers couldn't consent. The reason is that they couldn't complete them. Elf Outline says, in the fifth line in saying, 公义取彼, Gong indicates the art gallery. Yi refers to the arrow, to kill the opponent with one arrow. The celestial eagle Qilin and Luo Li say, to kill the opponent with one arrow means that the art gallery would take the action in law and force the two brothers to compromise and agree. Meanwhile, the art gallery would take in the two brothers' products as their own brand. The celestial eagle Yilin and Luo Li say, the two brothers would have the co-production contract. The art gallery would know that the lawsuit would be lost, but still file the lawsuit, which is to coerce the two brothers into compromising. That is, the two brothers will continue to cooperate with the art gallery. Besides, the two brothers have to sell their products to the art gallery. The reason of the art gallery would be that the two brothers' products would have been on display in the exhibitions of the art gallery and exhibiting under the name of the art gallery. Fairy folks Li Zhi and Pan Gu say, the two brothers cannot compromise because they have the co-production contract. The art gallery would have lost the lawsuit. The law court would judge that all the orders received from the art gallery would belong to the two brothers. Fairy folks Chunhua and Pan Gu say, the art gallery would release their shares, and the two brothers would become the honorary shareholders. However, the two brothers must not interfere the management of the company. The intention of the art gallery will be that they still desire to own the two brothers' products and require the two brothers to design new products for them. The two brothers must not agree. Naxi asks, have we finished all the fifth line of the hexagram? Elf Outline says, the saying in the fifth line in 在却 refers to the company of the two brothers, which indicates that they should guard their company well. Naxi says, the phrase guard their company well, given from Elf Outline, means that their company will be in crisis in the later period of the fifth line. The celestial beast of the Lady King of the West, Moke says, in the later period, the OEM factory could not deliver the goods. Therefore, the two brothers would have found 10 core factories in France. If there is no special person to supervise and manage the production process in the core factories, improper operation would occur among workers, resulting in poor quality. Naxi says, will poor quality not happen if the two brothers are aware of the happening problems in the core factories? Weasel Fairy Maoruo says, the problem could be big or small. Take precautions in advance, and the problems will be small. The celestial beast of Lady King of the West, Moke says, if the two brothers only focus on business orders and ignore the factory quality control issues, it would occur badly poor quality. The king of the earth, Luo Li says, the two brothers are not good at management. The failure of the management in the factory will cause quality control issues, which leads to defective products and even cutting corners. If the product quality is defective and returned by clients, that would damage the company's credibility. The workers' strikes, which result in delayed delivery, would also affect the company's reputation. The celestial beast of Lady King of the West, Moke says, The business staff in the company will take orders in private, and the orders will not be put on the production schedule. The clients fail to receive the goods. They will cause trouble with the company. The two brothers are not good at handling business disputes and will be badly battered, causing them to neglect the supervision and the management of the coal factories. The solution to the problem is to set up the public relations personnel to coordinate business disputes and assign a special person to supervise and manage the coal factories. 11th outline says, from the 5th line to the 6th line, it would take 3 months. In this period, it would take 1 month for the two brothers and the art gallery with a lawsuit. When the lawsuit is over, the orders received from the art gallery will flow to the two brothers. The law court would judge that the two brothers would obtain all the orders from the art gallery unconditionally. Naxi says, the 6th line is in the level of the hermit and corresponds to the 3rd line yang, which is helpful to the brothers. What kind of person is this hermit? 11th outline says, a retired entrepreneur will come to them and provide them the factory for production without condition. It is about to close down for the factory since there is no orders. The factory will be continued to operate with these orders from the two brothers. The king of the earth, Rodi, says, the retired entrepreneur will be willing to expand the equipment in the factory for the two brothers, which would require a huge amount of capital. The entrepreneur would find a partner to jointly invest in expanding factory equipment and will leave full power to the two brothers to run it. For what happens next? Let's talk about it in a year. Written by Naxi from May 25th, 2024 to June 16th, 2024. Naxi installed the Kunlun altar on April 2nd, 2002. The former supervisor in Kunlun altar was the celestial fox, Xiuxue, from April 2nd, 2002 to June 28th, 2023. The current supervisor is the celestial fox, Ru Yu.